Okay, I'm joined now with Brendan Wright from Oracle, second-time participant on the G8 here in Australia, just fresh off the stage today. Brendan, was particularly keen to talk to you about your comments around cloud technology, software as a service, a fairly new topic for us. Didn't get brought into the debate too much last year, but obviously as a software provider, I think it's really important that we do make sure that we understand exactly all the language that was talked about today. You talked about new models of cloud, also new models of technology being available like cloud, being an evolution of the principles of outsourcing. And that you also talked about the fact that technology has been there to support the operating models in the past, but that we're likely to see shorter projects going forward and more vanilla implementation. Let's talk a bit about what you mean by that and what you're expecting to see in the coming next 1 to 2 years in this space.
Okay, thanks. The outsourcing model is premised on the concepts of commodity. So if I can provide a commodity, I can outsource it. Mm-hmm. Shared services premised on the basis of a standard. So if I can deliver a standard, I can deliver a standard to multiple people as a shared service. The evolution in business models are in the space of things like software as a service. So as we move into software as a service, it relies on the history of business models of the past. So standardisation is a key input to software as a service. Cloud computing is the next generation of that. So as we move into technology being able to support the business processes, we'll see more and more adoption of the principles of operation models, the principles of outsourcing and shared services, software as a service, driving a reduction in costs for both projects, because we'll have less to consider in our project, and we'll be able to take advantage of things like virtualization to make that available in a much quicker fashion.
Hence the shorter projects.
Hence the shorter projects,
right.
Exactly. And when it comes to then the manifestation of that as an ongoing saving, because we'll move into a managed service that's now based on standards and moving more towards a software as a service model, we'll be able to reduce our costs of managed services as well.
Hence the move to vanilla.
Exactly, hence the move to vanilla.
Thank you for expanding on that. Another point that you made that I just wanted to ask you to talk a little bit more about was on a slightly different topic. And this was more around about business modelling, so different types of shared service modelling. And you used a couple of phrases that obviously are key phrases here, potentially in Australia or possibly specific to Oracle. I wasn't sure. You talked about corporate shared services, and then you also talked about shared business services.
Yes.
First, let's start by clarifying the difference between the two,
sure,
as you understand them, and whether they're generic terms as you understand it across the industry here.
Okay, sure. So when I talk about shared corporate services, I'm talking about the traditional things that run our business. So ERP, finance, procurement, HR, payroll. Those things that we can provide that every corporation does. When we talk about shared business services, we talk about things that are common to businesses but not ERP. So it's more core to the business. So shared business services, where it brings into place things like a customer for applications and functions that deliver customer-related services. So we're seeing the differentiation of shared corporate services and being able to be pushed down to more of a standardised and commodity outsourced type scenario, and at the same time we're seeing the introduction of shared business services and the enabling technologies of things like master data management tools to enable them to provide shared savings, so efficiency savings, but also core to the business functional value.
And what does that mean long term, do you think, both for the customer and for the industry here, this shift that you're seeing?
Okay, I think it means that customers will be able to really concentrate on providing that shared services at the corporate layer and effectively put that down to a level of it's a commodity service. Whereas with the shared business services, we'll see far more delivery of things like the e-government type scenarios and the citizen services become more common, and be able to provide a quicker return to the agile and return on investment that the customers are really looking for.
Brendan Wright, thank you for joining us here today.
My pleasure, thank you very much.